Hello students, let's see few of the MCQs based on chemical bonding. Today we will see some MCQs based on limitations to octet rule and formal charges. Now here the questions which are given is based on superoctets. So before going into the questions, let us take a glance on what are superoctets. Students, there are molecules that have less than or more than 8 electrons on the central atom. If they have less than 8 electrons on the central atom, you call them as incomplete octets, and if they have more than 8 electrons, you call them expanded octets or superoctets. So how to calculate the number of electrons in that particular molecule? For that, let us take one example of SF6. Now, if you see SF6, sulfur is the central atom here and this is from 16th group. So, its electronic configuration will have 6 electrons in its valence shell. So, sulfur will contribute 6 electrons plus the connecting monovalent atoms, that is 6. So, total electrons will come to 12 electrons, and therefore this particular molecule where sulfur is the central atom, sulfur will have 12 electrons in its valence shell. So this is an example of expanded or superoctet. If I see BeCl2, now students, B is atomic number is 4. So its electronic configuration will be 2 and 2. So there are 2 electrons from this particular beryllium. I am talking about the valence electrons plus the connecting 2 monovalent atoms. So the total comes out to be 4, and therefore beryllium will have 4 electrons in its valence shell. So this will be an example of incomplete octets. So this was a limitation to octet rule. So on this basis, let us solve few of the questions given here. Which of the following is an example of superoctet molecule? As I told you, superoctet means you have to check for the expanded octets. Let us see the first example, that is ClF3. Chlorine is from 17th group, so it will have 7 electrons in its valence shell. Connecting monovalent is 3, so the total electrons are 10 electrons on chlorine in ClF3. If you see the second one, that is PCl5. Phosphorus is from 15th group, so it will give 5 valence electrons plus connecting 5Cl, so it will give you 10 electrons in its valence shell, and therefore total will be 10 electrons on phosphorus. The third example is IF7. Iodine is from 17th group, so it will have 7 electrons in its valence shell plus connecting 7, so there are 14 electrons on iodine in IF7, and therefore all show expanded octets or superoctets. So answer here is all the 3. Let's see the second one. Example of superoctet molecule is, the examples what they have given is SF6. So in SF6, sulfur is from oxygen family, that is 16th group. It will have 6 electrons in its valence shell. Connecting monovalent is 6, and therefore total will be 12 electrons. In the second example, they have PCl5, like we have calculated here. There will be again 10 electrons, and IF7 there will be 14 electrons. So here also the answer is all of these. See the next one. Pick out among the following species which is isoelectronic with carbon dioxide. What is the meaning of isoelectronic? It is made from two words. Iso means same and electronic means having number of electrons same. So the species you have to select from here that will have same number of electrons as they are present in carbon dioxide. So let us first calculate how many electrons are present in carbon dioxide. Students, while calculating for this, you have to consider the atomic number of that element. Then only they will give you the total number of electrons. In carbon dioxide, you have one carbon. So carbon will contribute 6 electrons and oxygen will contribute 8 electrons each. Therefore, there are 2 oxygens. So it will come to 6 plus 16, and that will give you 22 electrons. So I have to select an option from the given one where there will be 22 electrons. Let us see the first option, that is N3 minus. Students, always remember, when there is a negative charge on the molecule, you have to add the total number of negative charges to your total. And if there is a positive charge, then you have to subtract the positive charge from the total. So here let us see, nitrogen will give 7 electrons. There are 3 nitrogen atoms, so it will give you 21 electrons plus 1 negative charge. So it will come to 22 electrons. See the next one, CNO minus. Carbon will give you 6 electrons, nitrogen will give you 7 electrons, oxygen will give you 8 electrons plus 1 negative charge. So this will also come to 22 electrons. Let us see the third one, NCN 2 minus. So here it will be 7 plus 6 plus 7 plus a 2 negative charge. So if you check this, this will also come to 22 electrons, and therefore the answer here is all of these. Students, if you find this video useful, then do share with your friends so that they can also get the benefit out of it. Thank you, students.